Hello, everyone. I wanted to take the time to go over Sebastian Rogers' cold reading that I did for Sebastian. So we're going to go ahead and just get into this video. Please keep in mind what I speak on is alleged, it's not factual. And if you're not familiar with the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, you can Google it, but I'm going to leave some information in the description box of the video, as I do most of my cases, or any video I post. I usually try to give you a detailed description. Okay, so in Sebastian Rogers' cold reading, I did pull a few tarot, and the first energy would be the card of action taken in regards to Sebastian. The Seven of Swords did come out in upright position for that, which tells me this could be a potential planned abduction, possibly after communicating secretly. And as we get into this, you'll see how I came up with that theory based off of what I was getting in the channeling session. And some of the astrology does point to that as well, secrecy. But again, I can't prove it. All right. Next card I pulled was in regards to method of harm. Four of Swords in reverse came out for that. For me, that signifies possible sedation or forced silence or restrained in some way. Okay. It all aligns well with Saturn and Pisces. Sleep, water, sedation, silence, possibly. Okay. Card that I pulled out for the motive was the Hierophant in reverse. This is about abuse and power, twisted beliefs, delusions, spiritual or ideological obsession, trying to save or teach Sebastian in some way. And I get single-handed loner as well, meaning maybe one person involved. I don't know if multiple people after the fact, but I'm getting one person did this or coordinated this. Where would Sebastian be hidden? And the Eight of Cups came out, which is very symbolic for me. It represents, the wilderness near water or water access, looking over the horizon at houses, but in a wooded area, not too close to houses necessarily, near a river, trees, riverbank. And I'm going to go ahead and mention an area I was drawn to before I forget. Bledsoe Creek. Okay. What I was getting off of the cold read was a potential online vulnerability. Okay. So Sebastian possibly could have had an emotional connection to someone unreal, or you could say virtual. That's what I'm feeling here. And another thing that I found interesting is my own daughter came in and said, hey, my remote control game controller is not charging or it's not working. So I was like, oh, okay. I thought that was kind of strange, kind of fits in with this, but I see a power struggle. I get a lot of emotional manipulation, coerced to follow along or to do these things. Hidden communication at night, messages. Okay. In Sebastian's mind, he's thinking to himself as this is going on, because if he went outside, maybe he was lured outdoors, right? I'm going to find someone, or I'm going to go somewhere better. That's what's in his mind, I believe. And then I believe it turns into a possibly isolating disappearance or incident that took place. I feel like the perpetrator knows technology very well. He's into digital and fantasy, gaming, could even be a tech. Like I said, technology, he's high on that. I was getting something with online and detached virtual digital imaging. I'm not sure what that means. I have digital down, but I don't know. I can't read my handwriting on the last word. And then I was getting 12 miles or less. I believe this would be where Sebastian is, 12 miles or less. I don't feel like he's too far from home, but he's out just a little bit in a wooded area. I do believe that there's going to be some type of evidence that I could have been overlooked at some point, or they just find it, or it's turned in through a tip or lead. And it's going to be technology, I believe, or data that will surface. Now, Saturn will go direct in Sebastian's chart in the seventh house, which is actually going to be retro Pisces, and it will turn direct on November 15th, 2025. This is indicating the return of or revealing something hidden. Okay. Then we move on to November 15th through December 31st, 2025. This could be a possible time where evidence will surface, or even Sebastian or something of Sebastian's himself. Okay. Then around March, we have a cosmic echo effect. March 6th through the 24th of 2026. Okay. A karmic trigger for discovery, body recovery, or if Sebastian is alive, I pray he is, we could find him, and a media release, meaning a confirmation. So when I break that down, look at it, it tells me that something of Sebastian or digital evidence could surface around November 15th or the middle of November of 2025, all the way through the end of December 2025. And then it's going to be processed, possibly. Maybe that's how I'm saying it. It's going to be in this astrology as well. Processed, tested for DNA. Maybe the FBI is going to be looking into something digital regarding Sebastian. And then the cosmic effect will bring in the answers that yield, right? Meaning confirmation to what was found, a media release, press conference on Sebastian. So between December 2025 until April 2026, there's a lot of truth and clarity that's going to come to light in this case, I do believe. Some of the asteroids point to I'm not going to come on here and say that this is the perpetrator's name, but it could be people just connected to Sebastian in some way. I'm going to leave it there. David, Joseph, Caleb. There was one or two others. Ghost Ship. I don't know what. Maybe that's an online name. There was a few things, but this is all I have for now for Sebastian. I pray he's found alive, and that maybe he's just being put up somewhere. But, you know, it doesn't feel good for me to come on and say either way. I am sorry for the family. I do not feel that the parents are involved or the stepdad. I want to be completely honest with you. I don't feel that. Even though it's a possibility, maybe the perpetrator knows one of the individuals. I can't rule that out. I'm not law enforcement and I'm not God, so I don't know. But I feel like this man that lured Sebastian was probably a gamer, or he was online. And maybe he's local, maybe he's not. And maybe he saw Sebastian somewhere, but I doubt that. It almost feels like he would have met him online. I do question the footage, the restaurant footage that we've seen that's been put out. I would think that there's probably more footage of that restaurant incident, and that was done like the same night he disappeared, or like the night before the early morning hours that Sebastian disappeared. That's very critical. I feel like that's critical, and there could be something that we've missed, or maybe law enforcement's going to go back in and look at that footage again. I don't know, but I do pray that he's found alive. I do, and the best outcome, but it doesn't feel good to me, to be honest. And yeah, so we'll pray for the family and we'll pray for Sebastian to come home. Thank you guys for listening.